Fresh off of being selected number 2 in the NFL draft and signing a $46.6 million contract, Travis Hunter abruptly got married to his girlfriend, who's been in the news over the last couple of years, without signing a prenup.
An incredible last memory of taking the field with his sons, Shador and Shiloh, here at Folsom Field at home.
Equals Travis Hunter was supposed to be the Jaguars' golden boy fresh off a $46 million contract, number 2 in the draft, and the future face of the NFL. But now, the internet is exploding with rumors that have nothing to do with football. Fans are convinced his marriage is cracking, his locker room is divided, and one shocking theory won't die that his own teammate may have crossed the line with his wife. If that's true, this isn't just drama, it's betrayal at the highest level. And it could push Hunter to walk away from the Jaguars before his career even begins. Is Travis Hunter about to shake the sports world and walk away from the Jaguars? The whispers floating around aren't about bigger contracts or career moves this time. Instead, the spotlight has shifted far from the field straight into his personal life. Fans online are buzzing with theories, convinced that drama is brewing between Hunter's wife, Liana, and someone a little too close for comfort, possibly one of his own teammates. And if those suspicions turn out to be true, then this isn't just locker room gossip. It's a full-blown storm waiting to erupt.
Now, this left everybody, particularly legal experts, completely befuddled and prompted this one divorce lawyer to offer free prenups to every single rookie who just got drafted into the NFL.
All of the new rookies that came out of the 2025 draft, 200 and something players, we will give them all a free prenuptial agreement. See, NFL players in particular are really susceptible, because here's why. NFL players have the shortest careers of professional athletes. That's why their compensation is so front-loaded. And so to get married at a time when you're in your highest possible earning years, without a prenuptial agreement, drafted between you and the person that you like out of the other 8 billion other options more than anything, that's foolish. You know, I've been working very hard with Trusted Prenup, which is an organization, a company that I helped found, to try to democratize prenups, normalize prenups, show that it's not just for first-round draft picks. It's for anybody. It's for everybody. And it shouldn't be something that's only available to...
And here's where things spiral into chaos. The timing. This doesn't feel like a calculated career move announced with press conferences and smiles. No, this feels raw, sudden, and fueled by something far more personal. The word online. It isn't just football driving this decision, it's humiliation. If the rumors hold any truth, the fallout could split the locker room, turning teammates into skeptics overnight. Old clips are crawling back from the past, hushed conversations are circling, and let's not forget a marriage, already under the microscope, is now cracking wider in front of everyone.
Okay. Never post when y'all have problems.
Okay.
And be honest, always.
Okay.
Always be honest.
I feel it. You got the ring on right now?
No, I don't.
If even a fraction of these rumors check out, then Travis walking away might actually be the least dramatic part of this entire saga. Sure, NFL trades aren't rare. Players switch teams every season chasing bigger contracts or better opportunities. That's business as usual. But what's unfolding around Travis Hunter doesn't look or feel like business. This is different. We're talking about a young star who was once hyped as the future face of the Jaguars suddenly clearing out his locker without warning, without a press release, without even the safe, polished, new chapter speech. And that silence. It's deafening, especially considering how loud and proud he was on draft day, posting nonstop, smiling wide, telling the world this was the start of something special. Now not a word. And in the NFL, silence often screams louder than any press conference, which is why fans have turned into detectives scouring Reddit threads, Twitter timelines, and TikTok clips like it's the case of the year. And no matter where you look, the same explosive theory keeps circling back. This has nothing to do with touchdowns or stats. It's about Travis's personal life. More specifically, a rumor so wild it could fracture more than a marriage, it could fracture an entire locker room. The whispers say one of his own teammates may have crossed a line with Liana. If that's even remotely true, then this isn't just drama, it's betrayal on the deepest level.
Now, that's James Sexton. He's a divorce lawyer who you may have seen on Andrew Huberman's podcast and Lex Friedman. He was on Flagrant 2 with Andrew Schultz, and he is trying to bring prenups to the entire world, and said that after his offer, he had a few rookies actually reach out and take him up on the free prenup. It's a smart move by the NFL players and a brilliant marketing move by him. Because at the end of the day, everybody should have a prenup. It should be completely standard with all the other paperwork you sign. There should just be another one that decides everything financially. Because why would you take your most irrational and illogical feelings, your most emotional moments of love and romance, which are the most non-tangible, unexplainable, uncontrollable thing you feel, and then link it to all of your money and all of your finances and all of your tangible hard work? And even more important than that, why the fuck would you let the government or some random judge or a bunch of lawyers decide this shit for you? It all can affect your taxes and your real estate, and there's implications for retirement and earnings and family, and you're like, we'll just figure it out later. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm sure it's not even gonna happen, and if it does, it'll probably go smoothly, right? What could go wrong? You never want to root against the guy, but Travis Hunter is getting married at the age of 15 with $50 million. There's a lot of time between now and death that shit could go south. So it's probably too late for...
At first, the gossip was nothing more than cryptic breadcrumbs comments like, check the roster or look at who she's been hanging around. But then things snowballed. Reddit threads and TikTok sleuths stopped speaking in riddles and started dropping actual names. That's when this rumor stopped being quiet whispers and morphed into a full-scale public investigation. The story: one of Travis's very own teammates may have gotten too close to Liana. And from the way people describe it, you don't even need a full explanation. The looks, the body language, the tension, say it all. Yet, no one is saying a word. Not the Jaguars front office. Not Travis, not even Liana. Her socials. Completely silent. No posts, no likes, no replies, just radio silence. Now, she's said before in an old interview that she doesn't let social media dictate her marriage. But the internet doesn't see silence as strength, it sees it as fuel. And this time, the timing couldn't be worse. Because just as the rumor picked up steam, an old clip resurfaced, one where Liana appears to be leaning in a little too close while chatting with a certain Jaguars player. That video is everywhere again, being slowed down, replayed, and analyzed, frame by frame like it's Exhibit A in court. And here's what stings for fans. If the player in that viral clip is the same name now tied to these rumors, then this isn't just messy gossip, it's a potential scandal that could shake the entire team. If the player, being whispered about now, is the same one from that resurfaced clip, then this tension isn't new, it's been brewing for months. Suddenly, all those awkward vibes and strange shifts behind the scenes don't look so random anymore. They start to feel like the warning signs of a storm quietly building, just waiting to erupt. There were little red flags along the way, subtle talk about practices feeling off, fans insisting they could sense the tension just by watching. People noticed the change. Teammates who once laughed, joked, and stuck by Travis weren't really around him anymore. The easy chemistry that made the locker room click seemed to vanish overnight. Even press conferences carried a new, energy, careful answers, awkward pauses. It was like everyone was tiptoeing around an elephant in the room. Nobody's gone on record admitting anything but body language. That's been saying plenty. The Jaguars might be putting on a united front, acting like everything is fine, but look closer. Travis doesn't seem the same. He's more distant, quieter. On the sidelines, he's often standing apart, scanning the field like his mind is somewhere far away. And if the rumors about a teammate and Liana hold even a shred of truth, then that distant look suddenly makes a lot more sense. And honestly, that would explain a lot. Imagine having to train, travel, and share a locker room with someone you can't even look in the eye. That's not just awkward, it's draining. Once fans started piecing that together, the whole thing stopped feeling like football drama and started looking more like a soap opera unfolding behind the scenes. And let's be real, if the locker room is tense, home life probably isn't peaceful either. Those cracks don't stay locked in at practice. They follow you into the car, into the kitchen, into the stands. Fans have been replaying little moments that seem to speak louder than words, like that wedding clip where Travis leans in, but Liana quickly turns her head away. People noticed. Or that sideline shot of them in the stands, faces tight, whispering in that clipped, icy tone couples use when they're arguing in public without wanting to make a scene. No shouting, no theatrics, just that cold exchange that tells you everything's wrong. Now add in the teammate rumors, the resurfaced video clips, and the radio silence across both their Instagram feeds. And what you get isn't hard proof, but it sure does start to look like a pattern. The pressure on both sides is impossible to ignore. For Travis, every snap at practice probably feels shadowed by the question, what are people saying now? For Liana, every public appearance turns into an unspoken body language analysis waiting to go viral. And before anyone says fans are reaching, these aren't wild inventions. They're the very things people have already noticed, even if most kept their observations quiet. It's not a flashing neon sign screaming it's over, but every small detail whispers, something's off. And that kind of tension doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It builds slowly, until one day it becomes too heavy to ignore. Right when it seemed like Travis and Liana were trying to push through the cracks, something else shifted. Travis himself. The changes weren't subtle anymore. They spilled out of the marriage and into his entire public life. This is a guy who used to be everywhere, smiling at charity events, laughing it up with friends in public, surprising fans at meets, and posting goofy off-field clips that made people feel like they really knew him. But lately, nothing. No appearances, no candid moments, no fun off-season content. It's like the Travis everyone recognized was swapped out for a quieter, more closed version, and on the rare occasions he has been seen, fans can't stop talking about how different the energy feels. The other side of Travis's life told an even clearer story. No Liana by his side. No easy grin. Just that distant, locked-in expression, like his mind was 1,000 miles away. That's when the whispers shifted. Some fans began to wonder if Travis wasn't just dodging a teammate, maybe he was avoiding entire situations where questions or side-eyes were inevitable. And the timing only made things messier. Just as chatter about him and Liana started peaking online, Travis began pulling back from the public eye. Instead of hopping online to clear the air, posting something casual, or even dropping a cryptic comment, he chose silence. And in today's world, silence is like oxygen for rumors. It only fuels the fire. That's when speculation took a sharper turn. Some fans swore you could tell he had already made up his mind, not just about Liana, but about the Jaguars. The distance didn't feel random anymore. It felt deliberate. Then came the rumor that made it all feel like we were watching the slow-motion ending of something big. Word from people claiming to be close was that Travis and the teammate at the center of it all weren't just keeping their space in public, they were avoiding each other completely. No eye contact, no quick good game, not even the small talk that keeps a team running smoothly. It was like invisible lines had been drawn, and neither of them dared to cross. And tension like that, it doesn't just disappear quietly. By now, fans weren't just gossiping, they were tracking every practice clip, every sideline camera pan. Every split-second reaction was slowed down, clipped, and analyzed online like evidence in an ongoing case. And the more people watched, the more convinced they became that this wasn't just smoke, it was fire. The closer people looked, the more convinced they became it wasn't just distance, it was avoidance. Travis seemed to go out of his way to make sure he was never in the same frame as that teammate. No warm-up drills side by side. No huddles, shoulder to shoulder. Even during stretches, it looked like he'd quietly shift toward the opposite end of the line. And the energy on the field reflected it. Plays that once clicked suddenly fell apart. Miscommunications that never used to happen started creeping in. Commentators didn't dare call it out directly. Nobody wants to stir that kind of pot on live TV. But you could hear the hesitation in their voices when they tried to explain why something looked off. Off the field, the silence was even louder. Normally, a player in Travis's spot might throw out a block, the noise post, drop a smiling couple pic, or at least issue a vague statement, but instead, nothing. Liana's socials stayed frozen, while Travis stuck strictly to football and the rare posts he did make. And the longer that gap in appearances stretched, the harder it was to ignore. Then came the clip that set the internet on fire. After a game, cameras caught the team walking back toward the tunnel. Most guys were laughing, high-fiving fans, still riding the adrenaline. But Travis, face-locked, eyes straight ahead. And the second the teammate in question stepped into frame, Travis veered sharply to the opposite side without missing a beat. No words were needed. The clip spoke for itself. And the reason it spread like wildfire wasn't because it showed anything explosive. It was because everyone watching already knew exactly what it meant. Nothing had to be said, the clip said it all. Online, people started calling it the tunnel moment, holding it up as proof that whatever was going on behind the scenes had gone way past repair. That's when the conversation shifted. Fans weren't asking if there was tension anymore, they were asking how much longer Travis would stick around. The whispers of an exit stopped sounding like gossip and started sounding like predictions. And the way everything was lining up, those predictions didn't seem far-fetched at all. Then came word that things finally boiled over. Not in front of the cameras, but close enough that people nearby knew something went down. The story goes it happened after practice, away from official coverage, but you didn't need a press release to know what it was about. With all the rumors already swirling, it didn't take much to connect the dots. For a lot of fans, that was the "yep, it's over" moment. Because let's be real, you don't share a field, a locker room, or even the same air without eventually snapping or saying what needs to be said. By the time the story filtered into fan spaces, it wasn't treated like gossip anymore. It was treated like quiet confirmation that whatever bond used to exist had officially cracked. And while Travis kept everything locked down, Liana's silence started to feel even heavier. She wasn't just quiet, she was absent. No posts, no appearances, no trace. No posts, no cameos at games, no little behind-the-scenes clips in team media. For someone who had always maintained at least a subtle public presence, Liana's sudden disappearance was impossible to miss, and fans picked up on it quickly. A short social media break is normal, but this felt bigger. This felt like someone deliberately stepping out of the spotlight. Officially, nothing's been said. No statements from Travis, no hints from Liana, and absolute silence from the Jaguars front office. Yet the whispers keep spreading, especially with the timing of everything falling into place the way it has. At this point, the question isn't if Travis will leave, but how. Will it be a quiet off-season move, or a headline-grabbing exit that dominates the news cycle for weeks? Right now, Travis isn't talking, Liana's staying low. The Jaguars aren't saying a word, which means the only way we'll ever know the truth is if someone finally decides to spill. And when that day comes, the transfer itself won't be the story, the reason behind it will. And that just might be the part the NFL isn't ready for. So, what do you think really went down between Travis, Liana, and that mystery teammate? Drop your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it.